Listen up, everybody. You may want to keep your masks handy because mandates are changing. We'll go through the list of counties that are going from mandate to recommendation.
Well, it doesn't seem like COVID is going away anytime soon, right? That's why some health leaders want to start treating it like an endemic so that people can stay healthy without feeling like it's such a nuisance in their lives.
And today we are going red for National Wear Red Day to raise awareness about heart disease. We're talking about the little everyday things you can do to help prevent it.
Overnight, the White House was lit up in red, white, and blue for Team USA. If you want to catch the opening ceremonies, those are going on right now over on Channel 9. They will re-air tonight in prime time as well. Good morning. Happy Friday. Corey, Gary, and Natasha with you.
Yes, happy Friday. And as we just mentioned, we're all wearing red for women's health today.
Yep, we're going to talk a little bit more about that in just a bit. It's a very important subject. First, we do want to check in with Ed. Sounds like a little warm-up on the way anyway.
Yeah, it's already started. Yesterday, we had that 11 below zero reading. Right now, we're 11 above zero. That's not all that bad. And we have mostly clear skies around here. I think it's going to set up to be a pretty nice weekend. Do have that wind chill advisory for the border counties and also El Paso County, the Pikes Peak area. And that is for those wind chills getting to 25 below zero. So a little breeze can really get that temperature still pretty cold. Here's our storm system still giving them problems back east. But you can see the high pressure ridge building into our area. And that's going to give us mostly sunny skies today and right on through your weekend ahead. This is the way it goes. 38 degrees today, so not as cold as yesterday's 22. Lots of sunshine to go around. Tomorrow mostly sunny and 44. As we take a look at Sunday, mostly sunny and 37. Maybe a few snow showers over the mountains early in the morning Sunday, and then things clear out. 47 on Monday, 48 on Tuesday, and Wednesday, slight chance for snow, high 42.
Ed, thank you. Right now, a live look at 76 in Vasquez this morning. Not looking bad out here. Really light volume so far this Friday morning. No issues to report across the metro area. If you are getting ready to head out in the next few, we are very, very quiet. Travel times for you. Eastbound, westbound I-70 between I-25 and 225 in good shape, under 10 both ways. If you are getting ready to head out on south or northbound I-25 between downtown and the Denver Tech Center, that drive up to speed as well, about 15 minutes or less. South northbound I-25 drive between E-470 and I-70 this morning. Also, you have the green light northbound drive, about 12 minutes and about 9 minutes for that southbound commute.
Erica, thank you. To date, the Douglas County School Board plans to have a special meeting to, quote, take action on the superintendent's contract as appropriate. No public comment will be allowed. It is scheduled to start at 5 o'clock this evening. Teachers and students rallied outside Douglas County School headquarters Thursday afternoon protesting the conservative school board majority and a private meeting they allegedly had to get rid of the superintendent. Meeting in secret violates open meetings laws. 1,500 teachers called out sick yesterday, which is why there were no classes for public students.
Well, when you leave your house today, you will not be required to wear a mask if you live in the city of Denver in indoor spaces. But will you keep yours on anyway? Some people I talked to say they're planning to. You can head to 9news.com/vote now to let us know if you're going to keep wearing a mask, even if it's not mandated. And while you do that, we want to head out to Larimer Square. Darius Johnson's out there this morning. And Darius, a few places in town where masks are still going to be required, though.
Gary, as the day goes on, I assume that some of these businesses right here in the city will start to flip their signage to say masks will be required instead of recommended, or they will simply take down the signage in general, especially after masks have become so controversial over the last, maybe 2 years now? Now, Denver's mask mandate is no longer in place starting today, but the public health order requiring masks in schools and child care facilities is still in place. In Adams and Arapahoe County, the Tri-County Health Department Board also decided to let its mask mandate expire today. That means masks will no longer be required in public indoor spaces, schools, and child care settings. Douglas County does not have an indoor mask mandate. Larimer County's mask mandate is set to expire on February 11th. In Boulder County, they will continue to have their mask mandate. Now, Thursday, the Jefferson County Board of Health voted to allow the mask mandate to expire on February 18th, but this change does not apply to its schools. So definitely there are a lot of moving parts there once you get into the different counties, some of them requiring masks in some of those school settings or some of those other settings, especially those type of places where you may have children who are ineligible to be vaccinated at this time, Gary.
Yeah, Darius, speaking of children, you know, the Children's Museum had to close down a couple of weeks ago. They said that people were just not treating the staff right because of the mask mandate. Anyway, they're going to open tomorrow, and what are they going to do going forward, do you think?
Yeah, they actually just gave us some information. They basically said they are going to be requiring masks. The only exception is if you have an approved exemption and a negative COVID test from the past 3 days. You can also take it off in the museum's outdoor areas, but whenever you're inside, you need to have it on. Also, they say a lot of people like to pull a bandana over their face, but the museum says you actually have to wear a cloth or a surgical mask, Gary.
Okay, I hope that goes better than it did last time. Thank you very much. All right, getting back to our poll, will you keep wearing your mask in Denver, even in places where the mandate has been dropped? So far, 53% of people say, yeah, I'm going to keep wearing it. 47% say no, they're not going to. You can keep voting at 9news.com/vote now. We don't have many votes because it's early in the morning, but keep voting and we'll check in.
345 votes.
345? That's pretty good for this hour. All right, keep voting. We'll check in about an hour.
Yeah, looks like people are up and voting. I like to see it. So COVID-19 is here to stay. Now the state is working to figure out how we can live with the virus without it being so disruptive to our lives. 9 News reporter Mark Salinger looks at why the state may eventually shift from a pandemic to an endemic response.
COVID has been challenging for many reasons. Now there are new challenges for the state to try and figure out. As cases continue to go down, Colorado is beginning to talk about the next steps, figuring out the endemic response to COVID-19.
An endemic just means that it's with us.
For nearly 2 years, we've listened in on crowded Zoom calls as state health leaders tell us about what the future of the pandemic looks like. Scott Bookman has been leading the state in its response. Now they're figuring out what comes next after acknowledging the virus will always be with us.
We are looking at short-term and longer-term scenarios and starting to do some planning around how do you live with this virus.
Health leaders predict that COVID will eventually become an endemic in Colorado. In part, that means that hospitals and doctors will respond to it much the same the way they do to other viruses like the flu. It'll also become more predictable. COVID will still be here in the background, though life will hopefully look pretty normal.
You see a great desire amongst everyone to move forward.
Over the coming weeks, we'll see fewer masks as the mandates go away. They might come back somewhere in the future.
What we're going to see most likely is new variants come up. We'll see additional waves, hit our state, our country, the world. And we need to be prepared for any number of different scenarios.
A lot of the technology created during the pandemic will still be used. Testing wastewater for the virus and new variants will prove vital. That's according to state epidemiologist Rachel Herlihy.
It's also been incredibly useful for us in understanding the emergence of new variants and looking for those variants and where they might be occurring first in the state.
There's no timeline set in stone for when the state will switch from a pandemic response to an endemic response. Regardless, one thing is clear: COVID is here to stay. In Denver, I'm Mark Salinger, 9 News.
An update this morning, another Republican elections clerk is facing questions about improper access to voting systems as election rigging conspiracy theorists encourage clerks to access and share voting system information. Douglas County Clerk Merlin Klotz has until next week to answer questions from the Colorado Secretary of State. Democratic Secretary of State Jana Griswold ordered Klotz to answer several questions after a social media post appearing to be from Klotz says in part, quote, "We took a full image backup of our server before a trusted build was done this year." End quote. Now, Trusted Build is a yearly update for voting equipment. Two other county clerks, Mesa County Republican Tina Peters and Elbert County Clerk Dallas Schroeder, admitted to copying and sharing hard drives with others. Peters then fled Colorado under the protection of a fellow conspiracy theorist, My Pillow guy Mike Lindell.
And one thing you want to know about the weather this morning, it's just getting better. We're going to be warmer today, 30s and 40s, lots of sunshine to go around. And then tomorrow, even warmer as we get to the 40s, even approaching the 50-degree mark. And we'll keep the sunny skies.
One thing to know at this hour, we do still have 2 active traction laws this morning along Loveland Pass and Hoosier Pass. So passenger vehicles headed that way, make sure you've got a snow mode or the right tires or just avoid those roadways.
Heart disease is now creeping in younger and younger.
Today on this Go Red for Women Heart Day, we're putting the spotlight on the heart risk that everyone needs to know. It was once rare for anyone younger than 40 to have a heart attack, but now, according to research from the American College of Cardiology, 1 in 5 heart attack patients is younger than 40 years old. And today is Go Red Day. We kick off American Heart Month.
Heart disease is the leading cause of death for men and women in the U.S., regardless of race or ethnicity.
And it is actually more common, as we said, in younger people, partly because of lifestyle.
We eat highly processed, ultra-processed foods. We live incredibly stressful lives. We take in lots of supplements. We are largely sedentary, and we really eat poorly.
Dr. Andrew Freeman is the director of clinical cardiology at National Jewish Health. He says put together those factors that he mentioned lead to more inflammation, which he says is really the root cause for all disease, leading to more heart attacks, strokes, and cancer earlier in life.
5 things that he says can help is eat a predominantly plant-based, whole food, or low-fat diet. He also says exercise more, obviously get enough sleep, try not to stress so much, and he says we should all love more.
It turns out that people have the most love and support have the least amount of heart disease down the road.
Or we can just scratch out, get enough sleep.
I know.
Yeah,
But the other thing,
that one's tough for us.
You know, we talk so much about so many other things when we really should be focusing a lot on eating well, getting outside, fresh air, vitamin D, supplements, that kind of stuff to really make sure that we have a good immune system, that we're taking care of ourselves inside as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
You really think about stress and inflammation, and it you know, if you can not sweat the big things, you know, or small, what is it? Don't sweat the big stuff or whatever, small stuff.
Things, yeah.
If you can just like focus on, you know, keeping some peace within you, I think it really makes a huge difference health-wise too.
And I was really surprised to hear that people under 40, you know, are facing this issue more and more. But I have kids under 40, and I know they're stressed, and so it's something that you got to learn to live with. You got to handle it.
Yeah. It's a scary thing. Also, kudos to us because we all remembered red today.
Yes.
This never happens. We put out a note and then somehow one or two of us always forget.
I picked out my dress yesterday afternoon because I knew at 2 a.m. I can't remember anything.
Well, I get dressed in the
Exactly.
dark, so you do never know.
Right. You have to lay it out the night before so you know the color, right?